business of the soul in sex that makes men want other men. Like they don't even have the language to address the idea that someone might want to be spanked. Because again, for fundamentalist Christians, spanking is something you do to children, because beating a kid is exactly how you grow them up to be a healthy adult, right? No! No! Bad fundamentalists. This seems like a good time to mention that in the years past, I've talked about being a Christian, and I think in more recent years past, I've talked about emphatically not being a Christian anymore. I am, in fact, an atheist, but I do have a seminary degree, and I've been casting around for like, what the fuck am I going to do with that? And I finally, so Matt Dillahunty, does anybody know who that is? Okay, Matt Dillahunty is an American atheist speaker of some note. He's a public intellectual, and he's well-spoken, doesn't have a highfalutin college education, but he's really sharp and has insightful criticisms of fundamentalist Christianity. And anyways, he came into town, and I was like, hey, Matt, I have a master's degree in theology. Is there any fucking use to that? And he's like, well, William Lane Craig, he was a famous fundamentalist Christian, refuses to debate anybody without a seminary degree. Which I'm like, how many atheists have a seminary? Oh shit, no, I don't do debates. I do ranting, not debates. That is different. But yeah, so I think I mentioned last year, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I finally got the fuck around to it. I finally posted the first video. I've got 7 in the pipe. I'm going to be doing regular posts. If you check YouTube for Luke the Apostate, I don't rant like this. I try to be sensitive and kind and talk about things like when an atheist says the Bible literally says, and then a Christian will respond, that's not what the Bible literally says, and that's immensely frustrating to both of them. It's because they're using the word literally in a very different sense, that you only pick up on the different meanings if you've been both a fundamentalist and an atheist. And I'm like, oh, well, I can probably explain that adequately. And that's the whole point of the channel. I also have an Instagram that is not about atheism, it's about baking. It's apostate_bakes. And yeah, my baking does, people have offered and given sexual favors in response to seeing my Instagram. So apparently, I'm not saying that you should then read it so you give me sexual favors, although I may not turn it down. But apparently if you like looking at baking shit, my Instagram is good for that. Moving on. We have more things to sell. I'm going to sell those things.
You're selling the plushies still?
Right, the plushies. The 4 plushies. The bear, the skeleton thing, that, the Ryuk, and the Sephiroth. Give me 5. 5 there? 20. I regret knowing who you are. 20 once, 20 twice, sold for 20. Thank you, sir. I'm going to do the CDs. Sell them separate. No, I'll sell them together.
Oh no, those were the questions, right?
So yeah, long story short, okay, and here's the thing. So fundamentalist Christianity talked about the sex thing again, just to sum up.
Stop.
What?
He told you to stop.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
No, I'm not going to stop, ever. There are people who literally can't get off unless they're choked, or spanked, or their orgasms are 10 times better if they're tied up. But they don't know that until they've tried some shit, right? And even if their kink is heterosexual sex in the missionary position with their monogamous, closed relationship, heterosexual partner, but they need that partner to whisper, "Oh, daddy," in their ear, they can't explore that because they are trained to understand sex as purely, this is so weird, purely biological, right? It is for reproduction. From the religion that insists that we are not biological, that we are spiritual beings, that we, connect with God, except during sex, it's only biological for reproduction. And you're not allowed to have kinks, because those are like spiritual flaws. And it's like, the main sympathy I have for people who are very religious is that many of them, not all of them, many of them have shitty sex lives because they think God doesn't want them to spank their wife. Like, I mean, if the wife doesn't want to be spanked, then don't fucking spank her. But like, there are very few things more satisfying than slapping a tight ass and hearing them go, ah! Right? Like, it's fun! And until you find out whether or not you like it, it's a question mark, not a check mark. And that pisses me off. And I think Christians and Muslims and atheists should have weird, freaky, kinky sex, assuming that they like it, or to find out whether or not they like it. And I'm pissed off that they don't, because we're meat creatures, and we were hacked together by the blind idiot god of evolution, and that hack involves our reproduction being based on having fun with sex. And so people should have as many orgasms and as good orgasms as possible. And I'm upset that religion stops that from happening. TLDR, have fun. Who thinks they should have fun in sex? Yeah. Okay. At least some of you. Your hand wasn't up, but that's okay. I saw some of the shit you bought to masturbate to. And if you don't have anyone to have sex with, again, if you're not having sex with anyone else, try shit anyways. Like, okay, don't handcuff yourself to your bed and drop your key off the side. That's a bad idea, and if you survive, it's going to be embarrassing. But try butt stuff. You can try butt stuff solo, and it's not going to hurt. Well, okay, it might. Before you try a thing, research it. YouTube has a channel called Sexplanations. They got great advice and technique and safety stuff. But like, try shit. Don't try choking yourself solo, right? Have a spotter. But like, find a list of kinks and go through, and there's some of them that you're just gonna be like, nope, like knives, nope, needles, nope, bleeding on shit, nope. Some of you may be like, blood, fine. You can use knives safely, but go through the list and find out, because there may be shit you're like, well, I'm not fucking anybody for a while, but goddamn, do I have a better time at home alone watching Netflix with like a 12-inch pulsing dick up my ass made out of silicone and D cells than not. And you'll never know. Don't start with a 12-inch. Start with something smaller. Watch Sexplanations. They will suggest how you work your way up or down, as the case may be. Anyways, Love Hina, 2 discs. There's the Horia collection by Yui Horia, and there's the Hinata Girls Song Best 2. And unsurprisingly, the back is entirely in moon language. But if you like the Love Hina music, you should like these discs. Offer me 5.
5.
5. 5 once, 5 twice. Sold for 5, thank you.
Blank stare in his eyes. Should have given up on the ones I trust. Never should have been surprised when they shot him down. Cold blood to the ground.